Hi, this video is to remind you and teach you how to do repeated readings. Repeated readings is something that you will do with a partner who is specifically chosen for you, and you will help each other with your fluency. This is going to be a lifelong skill that will benefit you. When your fluency increases, so does your comprehension. So you're going to understand what you read better. You're also reading a lot of science and social studies text over and over again each week, and that's building up your background knowledge. And of course, being able to read faster is going to save you time in high school and in college, because it won't take you 2 hours to read that passage. It'll just take you, maybe half an hour when you're assigned that passage in high school or college. So this is a skill that will help you tremendously, but you have to take it seriously. So please sit up straight and listen to how to do repeated readings.
So let's take a look at this poster that will be in every room. What will make repeated readings successful? 3 things. You have to give specific feedback. When you're letting your partner know about their words correct and their errors, you actually have to tell them what their errors were, turn the paper toward them, and point them out so that they don't make them again next time. We also need partners who care and take their jobs seriously. You will only succeed in this if both partners are putting forth their best effort. Your partner's depending on you. So if every time you're not catching any errors, but if I were to listen to your partner read and I caught maybe 3 or 4 errors, that's a sign that you're not taking this seriously or trying to listen. And the last thing is careful scoring. You need to listen along carefully with that marker uncapped, ready to underline any errors. So by the way, what are errors? Well, if they omit or skip a word, that would be an error. Even if they skipped an entire line, all of those would be errors. If they substitute by saying a different word, like instead of saying what will make it successful, they said what will make it special. That's obviously an error. If they mispronounce a word, saying it wrong, that would be an error. And if they modify a word by adding an ending, a lot of students add an S or add an ing or an ed to words, those are errors as well.
All right, so on a first read of the week, remember the focus is just on accuracy and getting familiar with the passage. So partner 2 will always get the materials out. Partner 1 will typically read first, but on a first read of the week, both partners are going to read it silently and ask for help on any word that you're not sure how to pronounce. Even if you're just a tiny bit not sure how you might pronounce it, ask for help by raising your hand and pointing to the word. So let's watch how a first read of the week would go. All right, partner 2s, you can get your materials out. So even though you're not seated across from each other in your normal classroom setting, it is important to move across from that person that you're doing repeated readings with on a daily basis. Yep, that's prehistoric. Yep, that's illustrate. So that's exactly what you'll do on a first read of the week, is just read through that passage entirely, silently, raising your hand, asking for the teacher to pronounce any word. Or you could ask a friend if the teacher's not available. For the rest of the week, when you read, you will be timed by the teacher for 1 minute. You'll be sure to focus on accuracy, speed, and expression, all 3 parts of fluency. Partner 1 will always read first, and partner 2 will score them. Partner 1's reading off of a plain copy, and partner 2 has the slippery copy with the dry erase marker. And then you're going to give feedback to your partner, letting them know what mistakes or errors they made, what their correct words per minute were, so that they can graph. So you ready? If you're ready, get set, and begin.
Mandy formed throughout history together in places. They basically 3 towns communities. They're villages, towns, and cities, centers of government. Cities may be financial centers. They can also be manufacturing centers.
All right, so right now the partners are doing the math at the bottom of the page, and we'll show you how to do that in a minute. They're also going to give their partner some feedback about how they did so that they can graph. So when you're scoring your partner, you'll want to underline any errors that they make, whether they skipped the word or mispronounced it or anything, and then you'll make a vertical mark where the timer went off when they were reading, and that can help determine their total words. So if this was 185, then they ended on 186. Then down here on the math problem, you're going to write the total words were 186 minus those 2 errors, their correct words were 184, and that is what they would graph. Here's how to graph. You're going to want to make sure you write the date every time you graph, and the passage number, which is located in the upper right-hand corner of all of the passages. This was 513. And then the partner will let you know how many words correct. That's the very bottom in the math problem, which has the errors subtracted out. So this was 184. You're always going to graph your words correct in blue colored pencil, and it is erasable. And you had 2 errors, and so he's going to graph those 2 errors in that same column right above today's date. And there's the 2 errors. You're only going to connect within the week and within the same passage. So notice how the 2 different passages in 2 different weeks are not connected there, and we're not going to connect back if this is a new passage as well. All right, on the last read of the week, you and your partner are going to determine if you're going to go up a passage next week or down several. Here's how you'll do that. You'll put your graphs side by side and see if you were successful. Success with speed is any increase, any upward slope with that blue line. Success with errors is anything 98% or higher, which means you're allowed to make 2 errors for every 100 words that you read. So both of their red lines are really low. They're not making anything more than 1 or 2 errors. Their blue lines are going up, so they would want to go up a passage next week. So if they read passage 513, they would go up to passage 514. Your passages in your teacher's crates are different in each room, but most of them have things like 600s, 700s, 800s, and the highest is 900s. They all begin at 01. I know there's no level straight 900, but it begins at 901 or 701 or 801, and they go all the way up to 25, so 925, 725, things like that. So you and your partner on the last read of the week will put your old passage back and get the new one out and put it in your folder. And by putting it in your folder, you're claiming it for the next week so that no other group can have that passage. So each teacher will have a crate somewhere in the room for repeated readings. In the very front are extra graphs. So when you fill up the entire front and back of your graph, you can grab one of these from that front folder and staple it on. And then there are different levels of passages. Hopefully you are moving up and up throughout the year. Take this section, for example. They are the 300s. You want to make sure that you put your passages away like this, so that the passage number right here is in the upper right-hand corner, and it's easy to flip through and find the passage you want. Don't put them away like this. This is upside down and makes it very difficult for the next person to find what passage that is. They are organized into subfolders so that this is 301 through 305, 306 through 310, and things like that. So please be very careful. It'll save your class time if you put them away carefully.
Let's take a look at the folder that you and your partner will be borrowing. Keyword borrowing, so please don't write all over it or treat it poorly. We'd like to use these folders year and year again. So even when you write your names on the label on the outside, just do so lightly, because we might actually change who your partner is halfway through the year. On the inside, you'll see the packet of materials, your colored pencils, expo marker, etc. Behind that should be an instruction sheet. Be sure to check what day it is and what the steps are on that instruction sheet if you need to. It also has some great tips for giving specific feedback to your partner, since that is so crucial to this program. You should also keep in this folder both of the partner's graphs and the passage that you are reading for the entire week.